looking at it on my side as well.
Cool. I've started.
It says
so
offline.
It'll say that until it starts.
Starting.
Yeah.
Starting.
Then it'll say starting.
It's starting.
And then it'll say you are live, which means we're live.
We're live then.
Yeah.
Because it says you are live.
Yeah, which I think means pretty much just what it says.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oi, all right.
A bit,
oh, yeah, we do need to record the podcast too, don't we?
Bit more in frame.
So I think we should do that. I like it when you're out of frame, actually, to be honest.
Shut up.
Just, maybe move right out of frame.
No, at least I don't fill up the whole frame.
Mine's closer. I hate you, Rodders. Should we get that out of the way?
You asked for that. You asked for it.
I did hand it to you. That's true. All right, so I'm going to start recording. You ready with the intro sound?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
I'm recording, so you go when you're ready. What? What? Oh, you mean don't ruin it this time?
Don't ruin it!
Oh, well, you could have just said it before we started, and I wouldn't have. It's ruined now.
You suck, Harvey. You suck.
Just ruined.
You totally suck.
Sorry, man.
Every time you suck.
Well, you're the one using non-verbal communication for very important messages.
We have talked about that a million times.
That is
not
true.
To ruin.
For some reason,
for some reason,
every
you
week.
still have to. You have this compulsion to ruin it every time. But anyway,
no.
We're still here. This is the 1240 Hangover Cure podcast. G'day, world.
Yeah, g'day, world.
I'm Rodders.
I'm Harv.
And Harv likes to ruin the intro.
Yeah,
every time.
I just like that we're
even at
unprofessional.
episode 23. Even at episode 23.
23 it is, that's true. It's quite a milestone, really, isn't it?
Yeah, you'd think we'd be
the big
better
one.
at this.
It's basically the big one.
You'd think this.
Yeah, but we switched equipment last week, so we've got a new excuse for being unprofessional.
All right. Well, no, we've got the rig set up. It's all firing. It's all guns blazing here in the 1240 lab.
Yeah, guns. I'm rocking
big
these guns.
Big guns.
Yeah.
Get the guns out.
2 tickets to the gun show, please.
Give me the gun show. Yeah. All right. So what have we got this week?
Well, we got some stuff. We got look.
There's an interesting thing happening this week.
Oh, what's your interesting thing?
We're having a guest, aren't we?
Well, we might. Cool. We'll see how we go. To be honest, I'm not sure if we'll bring him in. It might not be important enough, so we'll just if it comes up.
We'll play it by ear then.
If it comes up, I mean, he's probably waiting.
Not many people have a direct line to this guy either.
I'm surprised.
Well, no, I'm surprised that we.
I got the number off the website.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many people have tried to call it.
Just send him an email.
Yeah.
I just tweeted at him and he tweeted back his direct number.
He's very active on Twitter, so I don't
DM'd
know.
me.
It's pretty easy to get to, really. Yeah, but I mean, we've got the ear. We got the ear of this guy.
Yeah, well, let's start this shit.
Well, I did want to actually just preface this mystery guest by playing a clip from the Bill Maher show, where once again they're pushing this Russian narrative that last week we already proved.
We already talked about this,
false,
and it's just got no basis at all. And CNN have openly admitted, pretty much.
I guess Bill Maher missed the podcast, and that's okay. He's a busy guy. He works hard. I get it.
He's got to buy Kleenex. A big schnoz of his.
Well, he's got a lot of very, very young women to fuck, so he's got to get through those, plow through them.
Drugs to do, no doubt.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of weed to cut, and
a lot of red tape to cut.
Yeah, a lot of there's a lot of that.
A lot of bureaucracy to expose. As long as it's for the right party.
Being a pothead is actually very time consuming. I don't know if you know about this, Rodders, but there's quite a lot of process. Yeah, there's a lot of process behind it.
Some knowledge of this area.
Anyway, Bill Maher was doing his little overtime thing that he does. You know, the overtime thing that just goes out on the internet.
Oh, I'm vaguely familiar with it, only because you know we're going to talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah. No, again, you weren't familiar before, but I've educated you. That's good. That's good. It's good. Yeah. We're all learning. We're all learning together.
Yeah, we're learning here today. We're learning stuff.
So I can't even.
Just play it.
I'm just going to play it because I don't want to preface it. I'll get angry talking about it.
Yeah, I know. Just play the clip.
Here it is.
Okay. Malcolm, what do you think the relationship is between WikiLeaks and the Trump administration?
Well, first off, for
Starts off
everyone
with a
who
little
really
giggle.
thinks WikiLeaks is this, free-spirited, transparency organization, you can just put that to bed. They are a laundromat for Russian intelligence. They were the conduit for all of the stolen emails, and they were pretty open about it. Now, what's really funny about this is when I wrote this in my book.
No, it's not funny.
Who was open about it? The DNC?
No, he's talking about WikiLeaks.
They didn't come out and say, or WikiLeaks didn't come out and say, oh, the Russians handed us all this information.
No, in fact, Julian Assange, although he is unable to reveal his sources, has said almost extremely clearly, like I haven't got it queued up, but, there's interviews with him where he says, first of all, he says it's not Russia. It's no nation state. It came from an individual.
Yeah.
And he very heavily indicates who that individual is.
Yeah, yeah.
Without saying it, that individual has since been killed.
Yeah.
So,
They're dead now. Yep.
so it's a very delicate situation for him, of course, but he's come out, and for anyone who's following it, he has said very clearly what's happened there. It's not Russia. It's not Russia.
Well, there's been no evidence presented anywhere.
Now, you might say
Right.
that the order that they released their stuff is questionable. That's fine. I mean, they release it when it's relevant, right? But this guy's actually saying...
Yeah,
and
you got to play the really stupid bit.
Let's just
that he
get
says.
into the next little bit. This is he's not supported himself so far, right? He's just said WikiLeaks is an agent for the Russian government. But listen to how he justifies it.
For the number of emails that were hacked, stolen, all the voicemails, everything for 10 months was stolen from the DNC. And then all these other things. I've done operations of a similar size. It would take 300 people working 12 or 24-hour shifts,
This guy's an
8-hour
expert.
watch shifts.
He's an expert.
To analyze all that data, and then they were doing these precision data dumps. Trump would talk about Pennsylvania. Within 96 hours,
Pennsylvania.
every email about Pennsylvania that had ever been sent to the DNC was released.
So
This
wasn't
wasn't
one 400-pound guy in his bedroom?
no, it was 300 drunk-ass Russian guys.
Ooh. He just said it.
First of all, to give him his dues, he is like an ex-CIA guy. So he does.
Yeah,
he
he's
is an expert.
counterintelligence expert,
And
right?
perhaps that is how the CIA does their... but for me, I just think you could use, I don't know, maybe a search engine and look through the text files that are the emails. Type in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
If that's how you feel, correct saying it.
That's how it's pronounced in his world.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want to get
That
into...
put me off, though.
Yeah, I don't want to
The way he
tease
was
him too
saying
much.
Pennsylvania.
It is a bit of a put off, and so here he is making claims. He's denying.
Oh well, I'm
the
convinced.
existence.
I'm convinced.
He seems to think there's no such thing as a search engine.
He's an
and-
expert. How do you not?
But honestly, if you've got, like, even in Windows, right? If you've got a bunch of text files on your
Hard drive. Yeah.
given, I don't know, 5-10 minutes,
Star.text.
you would be able to find everything pertaining to Pennsylvania. So I'm sorry, it can be one 400-pound guy in a room. And by the way, Bill Maher, you're a bit of a health snob. So just,
just tone
watch
it
the
down.
fat jokes,
Just rein
buddy.
it in, buddy.
I know you only eat fucking seeds and berries like a bird.
Because he has a beak.
And he has quite a beak. And quite a mane of feathers too. But okay, enough fun. But
Good morning.
Oh, yes. Good morning. Good morning, Arnold.
it's good to hear from Arnold.
Bullshit.
Honestly, Rodders, I only have one idea for how to resolve this, and that is to bring in our special guest.
Okay,
Right.
let's get the brains trust
Now-
in on this this whole deal.
Now, this is untested technology. We don't know if it's going to work. 9 and 10. Now,
Yeah, bring it in.
I've just pressed a magic button, and I'm going to press a couple of new magic
Dialing.
buttons, and we'll see what we get. How do you feel about this, Rod? It's good.
Oh, I'm a bit nervous, to be honest.
Now, you said you'd research and get all the questions ready, right?
No, I have like 3 questions prepared.
Hello, Mr. Trump.
Yes. Hello.
Good
Hello.
morning, Mr.
Yes.
Trump. How are you today?
I am absolutely fantastic. Let me tell you, I love the podcast. Okay, it's my favorite podcast.
Oh wow!
I love it. It's my absolute favorite.
We assumed you'd be an avid listener. You seem to spend a lot of time on social
Yeah.
media, so we knew you'd come across it eventually.
Well, that's right. Yeah, he's a guru on the.
I do love my social media. I'll tell you what. Okay, I can't lie about it. I love it. Twitter is like a mistress to me. I'll be honest with you.
It's good to hear you can't lie about it, Trumpy, because yeah, if you
I'm
could.
an honest man. Okay, I don't lie about anything. I'm an honest man.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic to hear because we're going to ask you some pretty pertinent questions, and we do want honest answers.
Yeah, of course,
Yes.
of course. I've got a bit of a question for you. You've called this whole CNN Russia, propaganda scandal, a witch hunt. So I'm just wondering if you know any magic spells.
Oh my goodness. Let me tell you something, okay? I know all of the spells, okay? I know every single magic spell that there is in the entire freaking book. Can I swear on this?
Yeah,
Am I
of
able to-
course.
We
you can, yeah.
prefer it.
Okay, thank God. Thank God. You know, in
thank
public,
fuck.
I'm not allowed to do this shit. Yeah. Every single spell, let me tell you, I know I can shrink people, okay? I can make hands bigger. Okay, my hands are huge. I don't know if you
How
knew
come you
this,
can't enlarge
okay?
your own hands then? If you can do that.
My hands, I'll tell you what, they're the biggest hands. They are the greatest hands, and that's all thanks to magic. Okay, I love my magic. I love it. I'm a
And
magic
I
man.
assume the color of your skin is also due to a particular spell, is it? I would imagine.
Actually, that's all natural. Actually,
Oh, okay. No worries. I didn't
it's
realize.
all natural.
Didn't realize that was real.
Got a healthy consumption of vitamin D going on there, Mr. Trump.
Yeah.
I am a healthy man.
And a lot of
I like to
apricots.
think so. Yes.
So this Russian hacking thing, Mr. Trump, honestly, we know you're not on the side of the people who say that, but we want to get it from the horse's mouth. Russian
Well,
hacking.
don't call him a horse.
Now you recently visited Putin. What did you speak about? And did you give him any secret information from the US?
Are you guys friends?
Let me tell you something. Okay, this is a common misconception. Okay, everyone seems to think that me and this Putin guy and I are friends. Okay, we're not friends. Okay, we played tennis like once, and he was not good at it. He's not fun. He takes things way too seriously. Oh God.
He is a pretty
I can
serious
imagine.
dude.
I can imagine. He looks pretty serious. He looks like
He'd be going for aces with every serve, wouldn't he?
He's a very serious guy. Not good in bed either, from what I've heard. At least.
That's not
Not
first-hand
at all.
experience,
Not at
though,
all.
is it?
Not like me. I'll tell you what.
Oh, you're good in bed?
Not like me.
Yeah.
I am the best in bed. I'm the best all around. Okay, nothing's ever going to keep me down. I said that. That's a quote I made up.
That actually reminds me of that Kanye West film clip that you were depicted in. Was that actually you in that film clip, or was that an actor?
Is this the famous
Oh my goodness.
video clip? I'm pretty sure that was real.
Did you really get to bang all those women?
It was such a long time ago. I don't even remember being in it. I'll be completely honest with you. I do so many things every
Must have
day.
been some party.
Were you drunk? You might have been drunk.
I was a little drunk. I'm not gonna lie to you. I might be on a little bit of something right now. I'm not going to lie to you.
You mentioned
Yes.
before about not being able to swear on social media, but you recently tweeted out the word kafefi, and I'm pretty sure
that's
that's a
right.
swear word in Australia. So, and it's a bad
I
one.
love Australia, by the way. I love Australia. It's a great movie. It's fantastic.
No, I've
There was
never
a movie
seen-
called Australia.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman
Nicole
was in it, I
Kidman
think.
and Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
terrible.
I never
bad
saw
movie.
that.
I'm a cinephile.
That's interesting that you
I do
like that.
like
What about
movies.
Crocodile
But yeah,
Dundee?
Kofifi.
Kofifi, great
Kofifi
word.
is a favorite of mine. People keep calling it Kofefe. They call it Kofifi.
Did you
no one
mean
knows
to
how
type
say
it? Did you mean to actually type it, or was it a typo?
You just had a stroke while you were typing, right?
I'm
And you're
going
covering
to
it
be
up like Hillary
completely
Clinton did.
honest with you. I typed that with my dick. I typed that with my.
So
with
you were
my-
just trying to see what
By
you
the
could.
way,
Yeah.
very large penis. I typed that with my penis. It was a long night,
I could
long night
see.
of being the best.
I could see if you were trying to type with your dick on the upper letters on the keyboard that your balls might press the C and the V quite a lot.
That's right.
So
Yeah, they're close together. So
maybe you have big balls and not a big dick, and that's the truth
I
of
do have big balls. I do have big balls.
Yeah,
Trump
well-
has big balls. Quote that. That's
it. How old are you now? I mean, they grow by a couple of centimeters every year once you get over 50, don't they?
Oh, it keeps on growing. I'll tell you what, it keeps on growing every day.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Every day. I measure every morning. Well, I don't measure it. I get Melania to do it. I get someone else to do that for me. I'm too busy. I
Of
can't
course,
do it
yeah.
anymore, I'll tell you what.
Way too much on your plate to be measuring your own dick every day.
Mine are so long I have to measure them with a protractor. Does that make sense?
You know what? I have not tried that. I have not tried
I've
it
got-
with a protractor.
I've got
It's,
one of those rolling things that you have to roll along to measure things with. That's what I've got to measure my dick.
Those ones that, like, once it does a full rotation, it's 1 meter.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
you
right.
hear a click. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, you wouldn't know meters, though, would you, Mr. Trump, being American?
Yes.
I believe
Oh my
it's
goodness.
2.5
There's
feet
many
or
ways to
something.
measure a dick.
He's been all around the world. Of course, he knows what a meter is, just because they practice imperial measurement.
Do you know how to convert a meter to a foot? No, not you, Mr.
the
Trump.
best at math.
Can you give us the number then?
I'm the best at math.
Just give us the number.
I created the protractor. I'll tell you what.
Speaking of being protracted, this is quite a protracted interview. Did we get what we wanted, Rodders? I can't remember what the actual question was.
I was just going to say,
originally.
Mr. Trump, he's so good. He's so good looking for his age.
He is.
I'm just wondering.
I am good looking for my age. I'm
Yeah.
good looking for any age.
Yeah,
That's right.
I'm just wondering.
Even as an infant, you would be good looking.
I'm just wondering if that means you're actually an alien inside a human skin suit.
Now, you promised to be honest, Mr. Trump.
What can
We
you
wanna
tell us
hear-
about that?
Are you, in fact, a reptilian alien inside an orange human skin suit?
You know what? I like this show a lot. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. All right. I'm gonna be completely and totally honest
Okay,
with you.
good.
This isn't live, is it?
Please do.
Yeah,
No, it's not live. Don't tell him.
It's not live.
Yeah,
This
no.
isn't-
We'll
this doesn't
edit
go
this.
anywhere, does it?
Yeah, just tell us what you like.
It's an
Anyone
audio
listen to
podcast.
this?
Yeah.
We'll edit it out if it's sensitive later.
Yeah.
You can get your
We'll
press
redact it.
secretary to email us or whatever.
Oh boy, just let it out, Trumpy. Come on. Your dad would have wanted it this way. Okay. I'm actually, it's all true. I'm basically, I'm part Cthulhu basically. I have Cthulhu blood inside of me.
Cthulhu, which is like the creature from.
It's an alien.
I'm basically a creature from the.
You're a mythical creature.
It explains the magic. I'll tell you what.
Oh, I guess it would.
explains it.
Oh, good.
Well, that's right. That's why he's
Yeah.
so good at magic.
And what's Bush? Is
I've
he
been
like
hiding
the
out.
Kraken in a
I've been hiding out
suit?
for all this time. This
Well-
is a suit. It's handcrafted. My people, we all have them.
Are they any good?
We all have them.
The people who make the suits, are they
I'm
good?
sorry?
The people who make the suits, are they good at their work?
They're all right at it, you know. Sometimes, you know, people do think the hair is fake, which it is, but it's sometimes, you know, it's kind of hard to cover up, and you do what you have to do, you know. You do what you have to do.
Does the carpet match the drapes?
Yep.
Mr. Trump?
It really depends on there's multiple suits. It depends on how I feel.
So you can change it up
Depends on how-
at your
Yeah.
your own
I
leisure.
change it up every day. I wore a different one in Home Alone 2. I wore another one in Little Rascals. This is the latest model. It's like there's like a new model every September. You know, like the iPhone or something. They do it all the time.
Oh, that's nice to know. There's some fashion going on down below.
Yeah, there's a lot of magic down below. I'll tell you what.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that
Leave me.
that famous film clip again. I'm gonna try to
Yeah,
try and get a glimpse of this.
We should talk about that at some point if we haven't. It's quite amusing. So, look, thanks for your time, Mr. Trump. We've really
thanks,
really
Mr. Trump.
appreciated your honesty, and we will cut out the bit about you admitting that you're an alien in a skin suit. So don't worry about that.
No one will find
Thank
out.
you. Thank you so much for that. Thank you very much for having me on.
Yeah, no worries. Look, we'll have you on again if we have any questions or anything else that we need. We'll just bring you in.
For selfish reasons, we'll contact you.
Yeah, just I was going to nuke. I was going to send a nuke out tomorrow morning. So just
Oh wow!
Okay.
What a
look out for
scoop!
that. You know,
Do you know where
if
it's gonna
this
go?
goes live or anything.
Have you got a target yet, or are you just planning to send
Is
it?
it
in
North
general?
Korea?
We're aiming for Canada. We don't like those people.
Fair enough. No, well, you'll get a lot of support for that, Mr. Trump. So, congratulations on your
Yeah.
choice of
Are you
target.
sure you- are you sure-
Luxembourg's another one.
Are you sure you're just
Thank you
not
very much.
confusing Poutine with Putin?
You know what? There's a very good chance, but I am the smartest person in the world. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't do that.
Okay, so definitely no mistake there.
Just checking.
Yeah. Yes.
And you didn't say that you ate him, so
No, that's right.
yeah.
He didn't.
It's
he
a
didn't
meeting,
say that.
not an eating.
Well, thanks for being so candid, Mr. Trump. We really appreciate it, and thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to spend a few minutes with us.
Yes, I love the podcast. I love it. It's my absolute favorite.
All right, keep listening. We're wondering who that other listener was.
Obviously, it's Donald Trump.
Obviously,
Yeah,
Donald
there's
Trump.
another
So-
listener.
This is awesome.
All right, thanks very much, Mr. Trump. And yeah, as I say, we'll keep everything secure and confidential.
Absolutely.
Of course. Thank you very much, boys.
Hooroo.
All right, have a good day.
You as well.
Wow. There you go. How do you like that?
Pretty sensational stuff.
Direct line to Mr. Donald.
I'm actually
Q
quite
Trump.
surprised that he chose to reveal his alien origins to us.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to
I knew he was a fan, but
give us any of that sort of detail. I just thought he'd straight up deny it.
yeah. What does Arnold think about it?
Well, he's not really saying a lot at
He's
the moment.
not.
He's stunned silence.
Normally, he would be he'd be right in there, but he's not today.
Ash is in
Ash is in. Oh, well.
favour of it. He likes it.
That's
Good
to
morning.
hear.
Oh, see, he's
What does Bubbles think about it? I knew he'd be impressed, but he's Canadian.
He thinks it's decent.
They're easier to impress, aren't they? The Canadians.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We'll have to have me back on.
Well, we promised
more-
guests. We're going to have
questions.
more guests on, bigger and better.
That's
And
right. You never know who's coming up.
We're just starting with Trump, but we'll get way better guests as we
That's right.
go on. You know, way bigger and better.
I'm excited. I'm excited about this shit.
So, leader of the free world, that's done. Check that off.
Yeah, tick that box.
And it's kind of hard to recover from it
You
because
son of a bitch.
Oh yeah.
there he is. I knew he'd pipe up eventually.
He's there. He's active.
Now, well, I think we've put to bed the Russian hacking again this week.
Yeah, we've doubled down on that.
Absolutely. I mean, we've got it from the horse's mouth. I don't know what else you want.
He says they're not even friends.
A, he says he never lies, and B, he says there's no Russian collusion with the US government. So
That's right. Doesn't even like the guy.
no, doesn't even like him that much. Doesn't like his tennis game.
Yeah, he's too
Heard it first.
too serious. Gets too involved emotionally
Yeah. How are we going to segue into the next bit?
in exchange during exchanges. I don't really have one. So
Did we want to just
world collapse, world destruction.
Yeah.
We talked about it.
Nukes
We talked about nuking tomorrow, so it could be all over tomorrow.
could be.
This could be the last podcast you ever hear.
I, for one, believe him.
Well, what reason do we have to not believe him?
Yeah.
Let me ask you that.
Well, no reason at all. He said he
That's
never
right.
lies.
He doesn't lie. He's the greatest magician ever, as well. So,
I mean,
it could.
people who never lie very frequently say that they don't lie.
It's strange that he says he never lies, but he's a magician, and that he knows magic. Because technically, for magic, don't you have to misdirect and lie a little bit?
It does to some extent rely
a
on
bit contradictory.
deception.
But he's a complex man.
He didn't say magician though. He's
He's-
doing real magic.
He knew magic.
Yeah,
though. He said he knew
spells,
magic.
So
That kind of makes him a magician.
that's honest magic
Yeah,
if you do it for real.
he's not exactly Houdini.
Oh, that reminds me of fucking Zendrius on YouTube with the Demon Magicians series. We got to talk about that sometime. If you haven't seen it, there's this guy called Zendrius, spelt with an X, Xendrius. Go Google it. Have a look through the
Is he as
Demon
good as,
Magicians.
the Desert File or whatever. Is he as good as him?
Who's Desert File?
Yeah, the Desert File's there. Gravity.
Oh, actually a lot better in presentation, like a lot
Yeah.
less. A
That
lot less
guy's
stupid sounding.
Yeah, Desert File's just loopy. you know.
Look, Zendrius is great. A lot of good 9/11 content and stuff.
Yeah.
Puts together
There's some useful stuff.
very useful stuff. And then all of a sudden, he came out with this Demon Magician series where he claims that the major magicians like David Blaine and so on are actually assisted by demons. Literally assisted by demons, invisible demons doing the magic.
See some
You wanna
magic.
see some magic. Yeah,
right.
look that up. We'll talk about that
Another
maybe in a
magic
couple of weeks.
documentary that I recently looked at
Oh yeah,
via Truthstream Media.
it wasn't Obsolete, was it?
It was Obsolete, yeah.
Oh right,
Yeah, it
yeah,
was
I've
that.
seen that one.
It kept popping up kept popping up
It
in
does,
my
doesn't it?
recommended.
They're promoting it really well.
And so it's that's obviously not suffering from the YouTube algorithm that's restricting that type
Not
of
that one.
information. Not
No.
that one. That's getting through to my feed. Even after I've watched it, still advertised.
And it's also a really good thumbnail with that creepy robot.
yeah, it's
in
got
the
the creepy
thumbnail, so-
robot eyes, and that stays with you.
It does.
It sticks in there.
It does. It does indeed.
And,
Well, Obsolete's an interesting documentary. What did you take away from it, Rodders?
Well, basically, that no one's going to need to do manual labour jobs in about 10 years, and the UBI is probably bad for everyone.
Right. That's universal basic income.
Yeah.
And so
It's a form of control. Like it'll be, money is a form of control.
it is.
So if you have a system where everyone is being paid by the government, they are reliant on the government. It makes everyone reliant on the government, on the state.
We did touch on universal basic income last week.
Yeah, I think so.
didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
But just to recap, that's just the concept of the government basically giving everybody the dole the same amount no matter what.
Yep.
Not the dole. What do you call it in America? The Social Security or something.
Whatever it is, government benefits.
A pension of some kind. So everybody basically gets an income from the government.
And they don't have
everybody
to work.
gets the same amount, whether they're working or not. If they want to work, they get more money, obviously, from their job as well. So,
Yep.
I don't know how it works, though, to be honest, because I'm sure that there are people who are much smarter than me who've thought about this already, but who's paying the taxes if everybody just decides to get this universal basic income and just live off that?
Does that mean we've just got to a point where, the Fed is just distributing money
And then taking it back.
and then just cycling it through?
If everybody was on UBI, then the tax rate would have to be 100%. Because otherwise you wouldn't be able to afford to pay it every month. So
Yeah,
it'd
I'm
be
not
like
sure.
a monthly tax rate, 100%. Here's your UBI. Now give it back. Next month, here's your UBI.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it works.
Now give it back.
I'm not sure how it works, but I'm sure
I
it'd
don't
be it'd be something that would be used to limit people. There'd be conditions to getting this money as well.
Well, there's not supposed to be.
They're not supposed to be, but
So in an
it just-
ideal
but think
UBI
about it. Be realistic. You think about getting a government assistance now through the dole here through Centrelink or something like that.
Yeah.
All the limitations and things appointments that you have to meet, and
Yeah, you have to
You
be
know-
job hunting, but that's not necessarily what would happen with UBI.
not necessarily what would be. It could be worse. Could be worse.
Could be
than-
worse.
Could be a lot worse than that. It could be.
It would be very difficult to justify forcing people to go to job interviews when you're acknowledging that everybody should be, a majority should be unemployed at this point.
Maybe you just end up doing document review for the government or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Sift through all
It
these
may
old
be.
documents.
You're cleaning national monuments or something, like cleaning the bird shit off them or whatever. Anyway, let's play a bit of the documentary. I can't remember what I queued up, so I'm just going to play it and then we'll, work out why we queued it up.
And use our heads. Grow up.
Do you want to destroy humans? Please say no.
Okay, I will destroy humans.
No.
Oh, I just put that in for a bit of a joke, that one. That's the bit where they ask the artificial intelligence, do you want to destroy humans? And she goes, okay, I will destroy humans.
But that's not what was asked.
No, that's
Didn't answer the
It's
question.
a good
that was
example
asked.
of how dangerous artificial intelligence might be, though, if it misunderstands one
One
instruction.
word.
Yeah. It just doesn't, it hasn't been programmed well enough to understand language.
No.
We talked. Actually, that's not what I. We talked about that last week about artificial intelligence going off and having its own little conversations and crap.
Diverging. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine how fast that could happen if you just give an unclear instruction?
But
So-
is that fear mongering to an extent as well, though? I mean,
About AI?
it's kind of realistic as well, though.
If you wanted to look at like an agenda and you believe that the agenda is expressed through films, well, AI, obviously they're against AI, aren't they? Because
Yeah.
every single film that has artificial intelligence
Ends
in
with the
it ends up
human-
with it going rogue and trying to kill everybody.
Human race gets destroyed. Somehow.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, at least attempted. So yeah,
Or threatened. to be.
Transcendence from 2001: A Space Odyssey. I mean, and everything in between. They've all those machines have decided to kill us at some point.
Yeah.
So but I don't think they're anti-AI at all. I think
One of us is in deep trouble.
Yeah, and it's not the AI.
No. That's right.
But I think it's pretty obvious that that technological advancement is the agenda, and that just makes for it's the only real way to play out a story with AI that's interesting. I mean,
do you think it is absolutely inevitable that AI is coming in, humans doing manual labor is pretty much done, and that it's going to end
do I think
badly?
it's inevitable? I think you could stave it off artificially, but I think it would be pretty pointless. Yeah, it's basically inevitable.
Yeah. I don't see how it goes any other way.
No. That's basically, essentially what the documentary is talking about, Obsolete. It's saying humans will become obsolete, at least in majority.
Under our current paradigm, yes, humans would become obsolete if robots took over all the manual labor tasks and
that's right,
and those sort of jobs that people earn money for now. Forgot what I was leading into there.
Well, it goes back to what we were talking about. Like, that was great, Rodders, by the way. Thank you very much for that. That was fantastic.
All right.
But yeah, it goes back to what we were talking about last week, which is why are we hanging on to this idea that everybody should have a job anyway?
I just remembered what I was going to lead into.
Okay. Please continue. I'll pretend I didn't say anything. I'm glad I helped.
No, you jumped.
Have you forgotten again now?
No. We think about, robots take over and that all being bad. Could AI exist in that context and actually be see the human race a little bit differently if it wasn't under this sort of capitalist umbrella that it is now?
Well, AI is central to Peter Joseph's view of our future potential economy and society. So
he sees it as assessing, where all the resources should go distributed.
He's not even remotely worried about AI taking over the world because he just says, "We don't give him that power. Just don't do that. That's stupid."
Yeah.
And I agree with that. I mean, it's like, okay, what can AI do in the real world? Well, nothing if they're unplugged, right? Nothing if they're turned off.
Nothing if they don't have some form of power.
Exactly. So don't make ones that can recharge themselves. Yeah. Don't make ones that can connect themselves to other shit. Don't give them that. Don't give them an arm.
Yeah.
Just make them a computer in a corner of a room, disconnected from everything, that just makes decisions and does whatever we want.
Well, apparently, I forget where I saw it. I think it's in that Obsolete documentary where they had those robots going around the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
That's in that documentary,
Yeah,
isn't
I think so. That was in there.
Yeah,
I saw it too.
They're just boxes with wheels just rolling around the hospital. Just
make
them like that. Those robots. I like those robots.
Why would you make the Daleks, with their little lasers? I mean, why do they have the lasers? Just don't put the lasers on them. They probably won't be able to kill us. They'll be cardboard boxes trying to beat us up. We'll just kick them over.
Funny rubbish
go on
bins
with our lives.
that are moving around.
Exactly. Make them rubbish bins. That would be handy. Put the garbage in them. And
that's right. You wouldn't have all this
dual purpose
litter all around the place.
Absolutely. I mean, it's obvious to me.
It's pretty obvious, right?
I'm no, Ray Kurzweil. I'm no futurist. But I don't think the singularity has to be a huge disaster. Because even if they do manage to achieve consciousness, whatever the fuck that is, that doesn't mean that they're going to be, what do you call it? The opposite of inanimate. We can keep them inanimate.
Ooh, animate is the opposite.
Is animate?
Yeah.
That would be. I'm not going to Google it. I trust you. But you can't just say
Grounded.
Animate. Because there's people who think that you just mispronounced animate.
It's the same word.
It is. I think you're correct. I just don't think it's,
Maybe it doesn't sound right.
I think you need to do a double negative for people to understand. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's not get caught up. Let's play a bit of the documentary.
Just in the last year or two, the Bilderberg Group, the Elite World Economic Forum at Davos, the George Soros Open Society Institute, among others, have been sitting at round tables behind the scenes discussing their plan for the future of the proles. And the solution they're throwing around? Universal basic income.
Probably should have played that before you brought up universal basic income. But that is basically what they're positing in this documentary.
We just had a question on the chat.
Oh yeah, what do we got?
It said it's Flicko, and he said, "Did I miss the guest?" And I said, "Yeah, I think so. Yeah."
Sorry, Flicko. Yeah, if you've just tuned in, you missed the guest.
Yeah, we had.
It's unfortunate.
Quite a high-profile guest on here. You'll have to, keep tuning into the podcasts and downloading and listening to it, however you listen to it.
That's Lord of the Flick, by the way, everybody, on the chat there. Our only viewer at this point.
That's right.
No, it says 2 watching, which I always assumed it was you and me.
Well, maybe that's me.
Yeah, maybe he's not watching. Maybe he's just on the chat.
He might just be on the chat.
Yeah. I don't know why. I mean, our faces are pretty compelling, aren't they?
No, I don't think so.
Well, yours isn't because you don't fill your frame properly. You've got to fill that frame. I'm going to play a bit more of the documentary because I think we've already covered the bit for that clip.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So we'll just pretend we meant this.
I'll just pretend you didn't do that and do another one.
Behaviorist John B. Calhoun built a mouse paradise with limitless food, where the mice would have everything that they would need.
Utopian conditions of nutrition, comfort, and housing were provided for a potential population of over 3,000 mice.
In just 2 years, 8 mice turned into 2,200 before they succumbed to a mouse apocalypse.
The use of resources became unequal. Although each living unit was identical in structure and opportunities, more food and water was consumed in some areas.
So basically what she's talking about there is an experiment that was done with, I think she said 8 mice. And they were given a utopic environment where food and everything they needed was, and perfectly balanced nutrition or whatever was provided to them. And and they flourished for a while until their population got to a certain number, which was about 22,000.
Until it was sort of overpopulated, right?
Yeah, and then it basically became an apocalyptic disaster.
Planet of the Apes?
We could probably play a little bit more because she goes into a bit more detail about how that happened.
Yeah.
What Calhoun found was, once the population increased to a certain threshold, even though they technically had everything they needed, those who lived in the highly populated areas would become randomly aggressive, violent, and withdrawn.
Violence became prevalent.
Females rarely carried babies to term, and when they did, they hardly cared for them.
The larger the population, the less care a mother gives to her nest and young.
The younger generations would not even attempt to reproduce, but spent all of their time eating and grooming themselves, and ultimately they grew quite dumb.
So you had like the Kardashians.
That's right.
Happening in
it's funny because
the mouse world.
And I'm sure it's designed this way. I'm sure they're saying it this way. You know, they're describing the experiment in order for this to happen deliberately, but it really does parallel what we see happening to the human species
it sort of does.
In the world now. You know, you've got these sort of vanity things, people posting selfies and so on.
Very narcissistic attitude towards...
in the Western world, breeding rates are going down. You know, we're having less and less.
Rates,
breeding rates. It sounds nasty when you say it like that.
Makes us sound like, you know...
Yeah, it just sounds seedy.
Animals.
Hey, want to breed?
Let's go do some breeding.
let's get our breed on, bitch.
Come and breed with me. I'm going to try and use that.
Yeah, try it.
It's a good one.
Interested in breeding tonight?
No.
Not with you.
Nah, not after you said that.
Not because you said breeding. But yeah, so look, we're not mice, obviously, but it is hard not to make parallels with that experiment and what we see happening in the world now. The random acts of violence, you could parallel that with jihadists or whatever.
Do you actually believe that there isn't enough resources to support, 8 billion people on the earth?
No. In fact, I think from what I've read, it's more around 20 billion might become a bit of a problem.
Yeah. So
it's a matter of distribution and not natural resources.
So that's right. And it's been predicted, I think, that global population gets to about 20 billion in about the next 15 to 20 years or something.
Yeah, but the theory is the people who aren't alarmist about it basically say at about 20 million it'll peak and then drop off naturally.
Yeah.
That there's no way that that the population will continue to grow at an exponential rate until we've got 17 trillion. It's just not going to happen. They say it'll just peak around 15 to 20 billion and then start to drop off naturally, because that's what all populations do. If you look throughout nature, they all sort of follow that bell curve and then they drop off, and you have your little peak there and everybody's like, oh, there's not much room, and then you go back to normal.
There'll be a genetic strain of people that just get born and then just as soon as they can walk, just walk off a cliff.
Yeah, that's right. Like lemmings.
Oh, look, he's walking. Don't walk off. Oh, no!
Oh, isn't he cute? but we can't afford him. So, but the current population of the world can fit in Texas as far as geography and square meterage goes.
And this is part of
and that's with everybody having a house and a small yard.
Yeah, right. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's the entire population of the world can fit into. So what's happening is we've got these centralized cities, and the cities are obviously overcrowded,
densely populated, and the actual definition of a city is an area that is overpopulated.
Is that right? Well, there you go.
That's
it's
what
designed,
a city means.
It's designed to be that anyway. It's
That's
a population center. All we need is just to keep building more satellite cities and moving. You're not having this idea of a capital city and that's the capital, and we need to keep making the roads wider until it's just stupid because it's obviously not possible. We just need satellite cities and we need good fast transport, public transport, preferably to move between them so that you can if you work in one, you get on the fast train, you get there in 20 minutes and. It's all done. It's really not that hard, and it's it's this alarmist thing about the population is just not valid from what I know, from what I've read. Then again, I do have a predisposition to not advocating the death of the entire human species.
I have that same.
I have a cognitive. I have a confirmation bias when I read these things.
Yeah.
However, the stats seem fine to me. I mean, they do seem to add up pretty well.
I definitely agree with the fact that resources are being mismanaged, and that's mostly what the problem is, and that's why people are starving and some people are
exactly. I mean, if you talk about resource scarcity, well, it depends what you determine as
scarcity
necessary.
is manufactured, is basically.
Well, but it depends what you say is necessary, right? If you think everybody needs an iPad and a car and their own helicopter and a mansion, well, then the carrying capacity of the Earth probably won't support that. If you just take basic living conditions and nutritional requirements and things that actually keep us alive.
Actually essential things that help us to continue living.
Exactly. If you just take those into account, we can support a much higher population. The question is, are you going to ask people who are now rich and have a lot of money to sacrifice their lifestyle to make the world a better place? If you did, well, in a capitalist world, they would just say, no, fuck those people. They didn't work hard enough. Exactly. Right? That's basically where we're at. Fuck those people. If they wanted to make money, they should work harder.
Yeah.
And they see the World Vision ads. They see the little African boys who are eating slop with flies around their mouth.
Eating dirt, basically.
They know that person does not have the same opportunity as them, and probably...
Of course not.
Probably just physically impossible for them to actually work harder to make more money so that they can upgrade their slop to one with a little bit of basil sprinkled in it.
In that context, it's not relevant at all. You can't ask someone that starts in that situation to just work hard. And
that's right.
Then they'll have the same opportunity.
The truth is that we in the West are born with silver spoons in our mouths, and we think we earned them, but we didn't.
We didn't earn it.
I don't believe we earned anything that we
were born into it.
I always talk about my life like it's just this charmed life. I mean, I've had some struggles. I've been broke quite recently, as much as a few weeks ago. Yeah. And I'll be broke again. But I'm not struggling. I mean, I've got so much opportunity. This is me just saying, I'd rather run a YouTube channel than do actual work for money. I know how pretentious I am. At least I recognize that.
You're self-aware, at least.
At least I recognize that is not a reasonable expectation. Sure, I've got that opportunity now, I guess, although...
probably another episode, whole episode, that topic of, charity and donating to these, not-for-profit organisations that, dump all these free resources into a third world country and act like it's helping. It's actually keeping the economy in those countries completely inactive and restricting people who want to transact and do business on the ground there, restricts those people to not being able to do that.
You won't believe this. It's not recording right now.
What's not recording?
Audacity. So I've restarted it. We'll get the YouTube video and reinsert the audio or something. I don't know what happened, though. I didn't press anything. It just stopped by itself.
Stopped by itself where? How much?
And now we've got no level. Weird. I don't know what's happened.
That's odd. That's very strange. Anyway, we can hopefully recover the audio from YouTube if that's become a problem.
Yeah, we might have to.
Anyway,
I'm not sure why the levels have changed, though. They're really low. I'll just stop it.
Technical issues on the podcast.
Very strange.
We won't talk any further about it on the actual podcast because this would be pretty freaking boring for people.
Well, let's just wind up.
I think we'll wind it up.
I've restarted it. We'll sorry. That's annoying. All right.
I'm going to wind it up.
So we're back on the podcast.
We're going to wind it up here.
I think we've had a pretty good run. I think we got
we've-
most of it. We did have technical issues, so we'll see how it comes out. However, we're on the live stream, so you can always watch that. We'll get the audio out of there.
Be there, including that boring part that we just.
It'll be the first time we actually have to edit anything out. We'll have to get rid of that. And this. And this.
Well, yeah.
And this.
Well, we can't have it. We can't have that. Anyway,
Annoying.
That's
what happens when you trust AI.
The horribly inept 1240 Hangover Kill podcast for another week. Thanks again to at the real Donald Trump.
Yeah, good on you, man.
For being on the
Thanks
the podcast. It's amazing. He's a fan. He's a fan.
I'm not that impressed. I sort of assumed he would be. So.
Why hasn't he tweeted out about us yet then?
Oh, I'm sure he has. I haven't checked, but I'm sure it's there.
Well, where's all our other Twitter love?
Well, I mean, he likes wrestling and stuff as well, so he's probably promoting some of that, and he's got a lot of things to promote for himself, his hotels and so forth.
Anyway, but thanks to Mr. Trump, and hopefully we get to speak to him again soon if he can fit into his busy schedule.
If we can't find someone better, we'll bring him back on.
What else? Follow us on. We're still on SoundCloud. We're going to get off SoundCloud, right?
Maybe. We'll probably still post there.
We'll still post there.
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe just the most recent ones on SoundCloud.
Well, yeah, we should probably mention that. We're probably going to move away from SoundCloud.
Yeah, the idea is to start hosting our own podcast material instead of using a host online. One of the regular hosts.
So does that mean that all the old episodes, we're going to have to archive all the old episodes and?
Yeah, they may disappear, and we might need to repost them. Not really sure, to be honest.
They'll disappear almost definitely from SoundCloud, right? If we start doing that.
Yeah, if we go to a free account, we can only host, I think, 4 episodes or something.
Yeah, so we might just do the last 3 or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
We'll just leave them up on
we do have some followers on SoundCloud, so it might be worth keeping the account and posting there.
Yeah, we'll just use a free account for that, and we'll archive the rest, and there'll be a website.
Yeah, there
what's
might be
the domain?
1240.com, I think.
1240.com.
1240podcast.com.
1240podcast.
We can have 1240.com. That would be.
Has that already been taken?
I don't know. Let's check.
We should check that.
Yeah, no, it's 1240 podcast.
But that's not live yet. We're develop that in the near future. So this will have a dedicated spot on the internet for you to hear our awesome take on life.
Yes, you're welcome.
So
you're welcome.
We'll see you. You'll hear from us next week.
Yeah, see you next week. Should I stop it now?
You can stop the audio now.
I'll stop it now.
You are fake news.
Oh, it's stopped by itself.
Well, what? It can't stop, man.
Yeah, it did. We can't have that though, can we?
No. I mean, maybe I could record the audio here or something.
I was actually thinking we could have a backup recording, like we could do a line out to the Zoom, and
or just do a line out to that or something.
Because that never stops, that Zoom. So
no, it shouldn't.
It'd probably have a bit more noise in it, but anyway, we'll see if we can reconstruct it. I'm going to end the live feed, so for those of you, aka Kaylin Kavanagh, watching, thanks for watching the live stream, and yeah, we'll do it again next week, probably.
Don't see why not.
Don't see why not. Bye.